The galaxy is a huge place, and I'm just a simple rat gamer trying to make my way in it. If I happen to punch out everyone I meet along the way, does that really make me a bad person? As Jango Fett, the greatest bounty hunter arguably ever, it's my mission to beat Star Wars Bounty Hunter without the use of blasters. That mainly refers to Jango's iconic blaster pistols, but anything else that goes pew pew with lasers are also off limits for me. A Mandalorian has no need for guns after all. Instead, I'll have to rely on my wits, armor, and, oh yeah, these other fun tools consisting of a flamethrower, whipcord, poison darts, jetpack, explosives, and my favorites, lefty and righty. Now with a spoiler warning for this 2002 masterpiece, let's go a-hunting. It's not a proper Star Wars story if there's not a bunch of Sith shenanigans in the background orchestrating everything. Count Dooku wants his wayward apprentice killed, plus find someone worthy to be cloned for a massive clone army. Always the go-getter, Dooku decides to deal with both problems by staging a competition of the galaxy's greatest bounty hunters, which just seems to be Jango Fett and one other guy. So we cut to Jango on the hunt, as he always is. Right away I get into a fight with this big beastie, and you might think I have to resort to guns, but nope, Jango's got that act dog in him, and it actually proves quite easy to punch the creature to death. Though, admittedly a bit embarrassing how many times I topple over doing it. With that down, I get to work punching out whole groups of thugs, though pretty quickly I have to resort to my poison darts on some Gamorreans. They're a bit too powerful for me to fistfight, as seen when I punch out just one and lose half my health. I experienced my first death right after in a shootout, but don't worry, I'll be sure to die tons more. Thankfully, the game remembers who I've already beaten, and they don't respawn even if I do. The enemies also have friendly fire, which means I can just hang here while they take each other out while trying to hit me. Thank the Force they never learned how to swing their weapon upwards. While escorting this thug at fist point, I decided to show how my fists are rated E for everyone when I didn't like the way this protocol droid looked at me. I barely touched the Ugnaught though. He's just dramatic cartwheeling in the air like that. Despite getting into plenty of fights where blaster bolts cover the room more than oxygen does, these early levels are also filled with tons of health pickups. It also helps that I've learned to think like a droidicut and never stop rolling no matter what. I almost catch up to Miko, my bounty, when he escapes in a speeder. But now I have my jetpack and I'm able to chase after him. Well, I am able to technically, but that requires skill at using this that I don't have yet. Just give me a minute. Maybe 5. I'll get there. It doesn't help that an endless supply of thugs keep popping out to intercept me. How do you guys keep ending up on these roofs? I can't even do it well and I'm the one with the jetpack. After punching out a small town's worth of thugs, I finally give chase to Miko, who has kindly been waiting for me this whole time. He doesn't really get this whole runaway thing, does he? Finally finding my way out, I discover Miko's crashed his ship, but I'm quickly killed before I can pursue. Making my way back, I take out my killers, and somehow in the 20 seconds it took to get here, someone moved the burning wreckage, making it easy to give chase. The garbage pickup is really skilled down here, I guess. Also, nice to see Miko was still waiting for me. I take a couple plummets to the bottom of the planet before I finally find my way back to Miko's trail. Catching up to him at long last, he's now on a gunship, and I'm at 0.5, no wait, 0 health. Yep, okay, dead again. Heartbreakingly, Miko's ship is not solid matter, which means I can't land on it to punch or use my flamethrower. Strangely enough, poison darts don't hurt the ship either, so that unfortunately leaves me with zero choice but to resort to my blasters. The fight may be easy, but my soul is wounded for having to use such uncivilized means. With Miko captured, it's time to begin Dooku's hunt. Jango starts on Coruscant, capital of the Republic, because this is where Destic sales are quite high. Destics, the galaxy's most accurate yet worst advertising name for anything ever, are a key lead to the cult Jango's hunting. I get into plenty of scraps, but none cause me much trouble. I admit to taking it a tad too far though when a huge crowd of people brings out my inner arsonist. Sometimes I really should ignore my intrusive thoughts. How I don't have a bounty on my own head, I'll never know. After interrogating a death stick dealer, I make my way to a packing plant in order to hunt the dealer's boss. It's here where I experience my first full level restart. The game will force you to restart the level if you use up all 5 restarts, which I do by falling over and over again to my doom. It's not the hordes of thugs with their wrenches and blasters, nor an entire gunship that could bring down Jango Fett. Nope, it's a jetpack that can only maintain flight for about 3 seconds, that'll almost certainly bring him down time and time again. Restarting, I finally make it through, only to get killed in the next fight. Thankfully, I have enough lives to make it through this time, reaching the end only to find the boss killed by Montross. Montross is Jango Fett's old rival that you've only heard of now, or perhaps in the comic tie-in, but I promise he's evil as heck. I mean, so is Jango in a way, but come on, he's our playable character, so Montross has to be even eviler. Dooku is one for dramatics, I guess, by hiring Jango's biggest rival as seemingly the only other guy in this whole bounty hunter competition. Despite being immune to my poison darts, Montross' fight is overall easy, though it's certainly not epic. Maybe it would be if Montross would stop falling off the ledges. It takes me forever to find him every time he does. Plus, while I'm punching him, he just keeps crouching and staring at me. It's very off-putting. The guy is a master of psychological warfare. When I finally beat him, we suddenly find ourselves at the top again, so that Montross can escape to bother me later in the game. What a weird guy. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, the Destic boss I was here is dead, so where can I get the info I need? Ooh, how about a very corrupt senator? How convenient. I don't even have to go off planet. Turns out the senator is far less convenient than I realized, as the entire Coruscanti police force stands between me and him, and a few of them have grenade launchers. Naturally, the best way for a police force to take down a singular bounty hunter in an apartment building is with the use of explosives, and lots of them, with absolutely no care on what you hit. That's the outside-the-box thinking that works. Except, of course the thing that finishes me off is once again my poor jetpack skills. Death after death occurs here as I struggle with the endless reinforcements and explosives to the face. I can only punch people so fast after all. It's here where I learn an art of combat so diabolical, so crucial, that I'll make use of it the rest of the game. It's very complicated, but try and follow along anyways. Stand at a doorway, you see, and then when people come through, you barbecue them thoroughly until they're ready to be served. Yeah, it works every single time. Making it past that difficult section, I take the time to fall to my death once more before finally reaching the senator. We have a short informative talk before the good senator has to see himself out. This leads to another boss fight with a ship, but this time I'm able to avoid the use of blasters in the favor of a grenade launcher. No lasers, lots of grenades. It passes. But sadly, I don't, when the ship tears me apart regardless, sending me back to the start of the level. I avoid fighting as much as I can in that evil section, race to the senator's room, and get back in the fight. The battle is a slow, long one, as auto-aiming the launcher doesn't work as the grenades fall harmlessly before it, and trying to aim it manually gets me torn to little Mandalorian shreds. So instead, I wait a floor above the ship, and whenever the gods magically pop more ammo into the room for me, I grab it and unload from above onto the gunship. You would think, it being a ship, that it would just fly upwards a little bit to shoot me, but strangely, that never occurs to it. When it finally blows up, Jango simply watches before flying away. What a world! Burning up a ton of law enforcement, shooting up the streets, murdering a public senator, and blowing up a gunship, all on the capital of the Republic, and Jango flies away with absolutely zero consequences. He wasn't even in disguise. Obi-Wan doesn't even know who he is years later. You would think something like this would be on the news. I guess this works out for Jango, but it really makes me worry about the state of the Republic. We hung out in the city, so the next natural place to visit is a remote prison moon. And now, I have missiles, which I clearly should not be trusted with. It takes a few tries to break through the prison, but when I do, I realize punching everyone just won't cut it here. My flamethrower is absolutely key as I lurk like a weirdo next to every door, waiting for my enemies to come within toasting range. So many of the officers are using electric rods, so it's a state of fry or be fried. Finally, making it to the depths of the prison, I discover the bounty I'm here for is already being grabbed by another hunter. What are the odds? This is supposed to be the hardest prison in the galaxy to break into, and suddenly two unrelated hunters break into it on the same day for the same prisoner? And Zam here isn't even part of Dooku's competition. Chasing after them isn't too easy either, as I face hordes of both prisoners and guards who have all agreed that I'm the target numero uno. Shouldn't they be fighting each other? At least they're all clearly sharing the same brain cells. They flood the tiny cells I hide in, and I roast them all at once. But who needs a brain cell when you have a big gun? The guards with miniguns, of which there's far too many, scoff at my Mandalorian armor and easily tear my health down. And if they're not bad enough, I also have to navigate several bridges covered with both the minigun guards, but also plenty of missile launchers. When they said this was the most secure prison in the Republic, they really meant it. Even the frickin' prisoners are helping keep it that way. Finally, reaching the end of the level, I discover Zam and the bounty I'm here for under heavy fire. I take down plenty of guards, but while trying to steal away the bounty, I'm suddenly treated to the restart level screen. Hey, I still had 3 lives left. I have to guess Zam got killed while I was doing that, causing the full level restart, but I'm pretty sure it's really because the universe hates me. Getting started again, I enjoy plenty more deaths, including one where I'm literally a foot from full health. But at long last, I make it back to Zam. And this time, I take no chances, wiping out every last guard as fast as I can. Zam and I decide to team up, since we're working together in Attack of the Clones, which is set 10 years later, so this just makes sense. My job is to blow the prison reactor, so we can escape, but in order to do that, I have to destroy the cooling system, which each one is protected by 3 turrets. It's here I was stumped, as I had no way to destroy the turrets as I already used up my missiles earlier, so I decided to tank through it and cut my way through the systems while getting a very thorough acupuncture on my back. This, of course, doesn't work, forcing me to restart the level and hold tightly onto my missiles so I can take out the turrets without worry, though I accidentally light this Ugnaught on fire while destroying the system. But don't worry, when he topples over the side, he does survive the fall. Not the fire, but a guy can only have so many miracles. Destroying the rest of the reactors is simple, except for this one insane missile user who decides to shoot me in the face at point blank range. These guys are way too dedicated to their job. Finally reaching the end, ready to steal an iconic ship and escape, I'm confronted by yet another gunship. Death claims me yet again, and I'm forced to restart the level. Calling upon the speedrunner gods of old, I smash through the reactors as fast as I can, shove a random Ugnaught to his death, and make it back to the boss fight. This time, the fight goes simply, and I use constantly replenishing missiles to tear it apart. How handy. With that, Zam and I are out of there. With the bounty we've collected, it's time to hit the jungle. Zam is going to keep the gangster boss busy with the bounty we've brought him. Why sneak in through the back door? And by sneak in, I of course mean punch and burn through a horde of his thugs blocking my way. Good thing none of them have a radio to warn him, it seems. The gangsters here are actually much easier than the prison, as we're back to regular pistols and not miniguns. Zam needs me to cover her, and I'm supposed to use my sniper to do it. Well, that goes against the challenge, and I thankfully have the best alternative to a sniper. Explosives! I can't see very well though, so I have to settle for merely hoping that the missiles won't hit Zam as I rain down hell upon her assailants. Somehow, Zam survives my blind barrage and helps me over. She then proceeds to be next to useless as I clear the path onwards. Right as I'm about to reach their leader, I instead lose my last life when a grenade rips apart the bridge beneath my feet. Oh, how fun. That definitely didn't make me go completely insane. Not at all. On my next go through, I do reach their leader this time, but the ensuing gunfight cost me nearly all my health. So I decide to pull my rarely used weapon called the Brain. Yep, and it whispers me 4 simple words. Make all go boom. Crazy enough, my blind grenade lobbing works and I'm able to chase after the leader, ending the level. Good thing too, because I die repeatedly over the next few minutes, falling to my death. Haven't we established by now I can't be trusted around heights? When I do make it through, I actually do quite well, till I come across another area that requires precise flying, which as everyone knew would happen, leads to plenty more deaths. I'm here to punch and burn people. This wasn't meant to be a platformer. At least I know what Jango better be investing in when he gets that bounty money. The best jetpack money can buy. One that lasts longer than 3 seconds, please. It's here I finally meet the Bando Gora, the cult I've been chasing all game. These creepy little guys are extremely annoying with their poison darts, but it's actually incredibly easy to beat the melee ones. They do massive damage, but they're usually too busy burning to do that. I'd never be able to take them in a fistfight though, for sure. At the end, Montross confronts me yet again, but this doesn't even deserve classification as a boss fight since it's just him driving back and forth while I tear apart his skiff with missiles. Alright, with all that done, it's time for the hardest level in this game. We're now on Tatooine, because this is Star Wars, and it's in every Star Wars related contract that Tatooine has to be involved somehow. What drives me nuts is for absolutely no reason story-wise, Jango leaves his jetpack behind. That means no flamethrower, missiles, or obviously flying for the level. It wouldn't be so hard, except this level's covered by snipers. Snipers that I can't reach, but have zero problem reaching me. I save every poison dart I have for them, but I can't get them all. I experience defeat after defeat trying to get through the first half of the level. It takes all the rolling and punching in the galaxy to take out every thug. It does help that the minigunners can't seem to hit me when I get so close that their guns are phasing through me. Finally, through luck and perseverance, after 2 straight hours, I make it through the boss fight at the end. Thankfully, I'm able to punch my way through this one, claiming victory after only a couple deaths. With that, the game has mercy on me, giving me back my jetpack. I use it to tear apart sand people and more mercenaries. I even take the time to visit Boba's future hangout spot. Like father, like son, right? This level proves simple, and I'm surprised when it's over after the trauma that was the last level. Reaching Gardulla the Hutt, both Zam and I are captured, and I'm sent unarmed against a crate dragon. These Gamorreans are too difficult to fistfight for me, but simple to escape from. I recover my weapons, immediately fry up some bacon, and cut through Gardulla's guards. Catching up with Gardulla, she releases the crate dragon on me again. You would think with constant replenishing guards shooting missiles at me, that missiles are the key to beating the dragon. But no matter when or where you shoot the dragon, they don't work. Punching leads to instant death, and my flamethrower also does nothing. So sadly, with absolutely nothing else affecting it, I'm forced to use blasters to progress. That works incredibly well, and I'm free to finish this. I've reached the Bando Gora HQ and can finally go after their leader, Dooku's old apprentice. The melee units are once again little threat, but the poison dart units drive me mad. There's next to no good way to deal with them, minus a sniper rifle, which I can't use, so I take plenty of damage hunting each down. How do they even shoot darts this fast? It's maddening. Over and over again, these dart users keep me from reaching the end, but through careful flying and quick flamethrower usage, I finally make it. Instead of Vosa though, the target I'm here for, I face off against Montross yet again. But apparently, he's been holding back the entire game. He dodges my missiles with ease, he can't be punched without causing massive damage to myself, nor hit by flame for the exact same reason. Trying to fight this right leads to enough deaths for a level restart, and when I reach him again, it happens again. By the third time I've reached him, I figured out how to hit him with all 6 missiles. The only problem is using all 6 only knocks him to half health. I then attempt to punch him despite knowing it won't work, which it doesn't, just leading to more deaths for me. So finally, I have to face facts that Montross is the third time I have no choice but to use blasters. He's actually quite easy from there, and down goes Jango's old rival. I would like to point out, Jango doesn't kill him, merely leaving him for the Bandogora to kill. So in a loophole kind of way, I didn't kill using blasters at least. Yeah, I know it still counts, but a rat's gotta try. With Montross dead, it doesn't take long to beat my way through the last of the Bandogora. It isn't too fun though when they shove me off these ledges even while they burn to death. That feels like cheating. Despite my falls, I make it to the end rather quickly, only to find myself suddenly unable to pick myself off the ground mid-fight. Worry not though, it's actually a scripted loss. Vosa has captured Jango, wanting to know who sent him in the first place, but thankfully Zam shows up to save me. Glad to have her help, but how did she get here? I had to jetpack over so much. How did she manage? Was there an easy path that I just missed? Shoving that out of my mind, I take after Vosa for one final boss fight. Vosa is ex-Jedi, so I'm dealing with a skilled Force user and lightsaber wielder. Surely I can't punch her to death, right? Wrong, actually. This master boss fight can't reach me in this tiny tunnel for some reason, but she's still vulnerable to being tied up. So begins the process of tying her up, running out and whacking her a bunch, till she gets free, and then back to my safety hole. It's surprisingly quite effective. Good thing she never remembers she has the Force, or the ability to just take a foot to the left. Such a great thing can't last though, and when she loses 3/4 of her health, she takes off. Reluctantly, I give chase, and I'm sad to see no hiding holes in her final open room. I'm forced to resort to timing my dodges before I can tie her up and beat her sideways. Perhaps, if she had stopped posing and delivering idle threats, she'd have won. But then they'd revoke her villain card, so I get why she can't. And with a few last punches, huzzah! With 3 evil exceptions, I've beaten nearly all of Star Wars Bounty Hunter without the use of blasters. Wish I could have for every moment, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. Over the course of 14 hours and 35 minutes, I went to Bounty Hunter Heaven 180 times, 31 of which occurred in the first Tatooine mission alone. That easily makes it the hardest section of the game, by taking away my jetpack and throwing in so many snipers and minigunners. The easiest section had to be the streets of Coruscant with 0 deaths, but frankly, Vosa's boss fight was also easily exploited and beaten. Thank you for watching this foray into the bounty hunter business. I truly hope you had a good time watching. I'm not much of a bounty hunter, so I'm not asking for credits, but if you enjoyed, perhaps leave a bounty reward of a like or a subscribe for more challenge shenanigans. Maybe even comment, as I always enjoy hearing from you guys. Now I'm off to go purchase a better jetpack that couldn't possibly let me down. See you later, friends.